Gary Lee Meyer, for many, many years known as the king of the 360s, starts dead last here in the first heat race. So we'll be going 10 laps using the passing point system as Ryan Anderson and Nate Mosier get set to kick off the 2005 360 Nationals here at the Knoxville Raceway. We head them down into turn number 1. Ryan Anderson has the lead. Nate Mosier taking a peek to the outside of him. They'll go wheel to wheel down the back straightaway. Anderson with a slight advantage as they hit turns 3 and 4 for the first time. Great racing for the lead. You've got a new leader though at the flag stand. It's the 22N of Nate Mosier. Mosier with the lead. Anderson running second. Here comes Lindquist now on the move in the third spot. Dustin Lindquist made his 410 debut last weekend against the World of Outlaws. Now back in the 360s as he goes to the outside of Ryan Anderson. Ryan Anderson, a regular in the 410 class, just his second start this year with the 360 engine. Lindquist has the advantage on the outside of Anderson as they work down the backstretch. So now it's Mosier, Lindquist, Anderson, a 1, 2, and 3. Jeff Matrician holding down the 4th spot. Kerry Madsen running 5th. Gavin Punch in the 6th spot. Gary Lee Meyer moving up a couple positions from the back of the pack. But right now, the youngster from Prairie City, Iowa, the MortgageArranger.com 22N car has the lead as they work down the front stretch. Some good racing back in the pack there for the 6th and 7th spots. Gavin Punch, he and Gary Lee Meyer going wheel to wheel out of turn number 4. Gary Lee now takes that spot away from Mr. Punch. Gavin Punch, a new car here tonight in that 81 AU car, joining the Cantor Oil Company team as he destroyed his car last Tuesday night in Belleville, Kansas. Well, Nate Mosier continues to be your leader. Started outside of row number 1. So he'll get credit for passing one car if he can maintain the lead for another couple laps. This time by 7 laps down, 3 laps to go. As you look at the Jumbotron over in turns 3 and 4, the laps count down on the top, so just 3 laps to go. You see the top number. White flag this time by for the youngster, Nate Mosier. 1.5 mile to go there in that 22N car. Problems for the 2nd place car. Dustin Lindquist off the pace over in turns 1 and 2. Lindquist slowing to a stop. But off the 4th turn, picking up the first of 12 heat races here tonight. The 22N car of Nate Mosier. Ryan Anderson home 2nd. Jeff Matrician 3rd. Kerry Madsen 4th.
All right, the field approaches with Hallen and Zomer leading the way to the green. And Justin Clark waves the green flag as Dusty Zomer jumps into the lead. Zomer leads the way through 1 and 2 with Hallen in 2nd. Kevin Welsh moves up into 3rd in the 2W car. And Larry Ball Jr. making a big move into 3rd now, putting the pressure on Howland for 2nd, taking 2nd in turns 1 and 2. He's now got to chase down Dusty Zomer, who's jumped out to a little bit of a lead. Ball's got his sights set on Zomer with Howland in 3rd. Howland sits a little high coming off 4 as we complete lap 2. Now Kevin Welsh moves in on Howland to challenge for 3rd. Good racing back in the pack for 5th as Bronson Mason makes his way past Larry Pinnegar for the 5th position. With 4 laps in the books, Zomer leads the way in front of Larry Ball Jr. Brian Howland, Kevin Welsh, and Bronson Mason, with Pete Krall making his way past Larry Pinnegar for 6th. Halfway through, and it's Dusty Zomer. And Mason moves in to challenge Kevin Welsh for the 4th position. Mason moves to the low side and turns 3 and 4, slides across the track. Makes the move stick, takes 4th place with just 4 laps to go in the second heat race. And you see Dustin Daggett trying to make his way up from that 10th spot. He's made it up to 7th as he makes his way past Pennegar. He'll try to reel in Kevin Welsh, who has just been passed by Peter Crawl for 5th. 2 laps to go for Dusty Zomer. Larry Ball Jr. trying to close the gap a little bit, but has a ways to go with just 2 laps. And it's the white flag for Dusty Zomer out of Brandon, South Dakota. Knoxville's Larry Ball Jr. a close second, and it's a ways back to the 51H of Brian Howland. Coming off of turn 4, going to take the win in tonight's second heat race. Number 1Z, it's Dusty Zomer. Larry Ball takes the checkered flag in second. Brian Howland is 3rd.
A very fast racetrack here for night number 1. So as we get set to go, Darrell Brink and Matt Harms on the front row. Darrell Brink had the points lead at the Black Hills Speedway, and he's going to lose that by racing here tomorrow night, as he had the points lead coming into tonight. So for one more night, he is the points leader at his home track in Rapid City, South Dakota. Green flag comes out. Darrell Brink, Matt Harms bring him down the front stretch. Nick Smith looking pretty fast as he comes from the outside of that second row. He's in that red and white 15S car. First time he's ever raced. Look at him go from the top to the bottom. Nick Smith looking good as he's going for the lead down the front straightaway. Darrell Brink, he'll lead a lap number 1, but maybe not for much longer. Nick Smith now to the inside of Brink. Brink still has the lead down the back straightaway. Nick Smith running second. Ricky Logan now up to the 3rd spot as he disposes of the 53H car of Matt Harms. Roger Rager looking pretty good in the 2K cars. He goes to the inside of Matt Harms, slides up, goes from the top to the bottom. That opens up the door for Stenhouse. Look at Ricky Stenhouse, the youngster. He goes to the inside of the veteran Roger Rager. Only about 40 years difference in age as they race coming out of turn number 4. Stenhouse now up to the 4th spot. Roger Rager won the Masters Classic back in May. He's now back to the 4th spot as he drives by Ricky Stenhouse down the backstretch. Darrell Brink, what a job he's doing up at the front of the field. Ricky Logan trying to run him down. It's Brink, Logan, and then some great racing back in the pack. Rager now to the 3rd spot. Stenhouse is 4th. Nick Smith falling back a little bit. Now in the 5th spot is John Carney going to take a look to the inside of Smith down the backstretch. Carney now up to the 5th position. Darrell Brink doing a great job. Hasn't raced here, I thought he told me, since 1999, and out front leading this race. But he's got some fast cars right behind him. Ricky Logan goes to the inside, and you've got a new leader as Ricky Logan takes the 7 car to the top spot. Ricky Logan driving the Bill Campbell 7L car as the yellow flag out on the racetrack. We got one slowing over in turns 3 and 4. That's the 15S car of Nick Smith. So Nick Smith had it all hooked up for about 2 laps. As we get set to turn him loose at the cone, Justin Clark gives him the green. We'll see if Logan can make it work again as he drives by to the inside. Ricky Logan looking good down the backstretch, going to bring Roger Rager right along with him. Rager now to the inside of Brink. Roger Rager moving up from outside the 3rd row, getting some passing points up into that 2nd spot. Good racing out of the racetrack right now. Look at John Carney touches wheels with Darrell Brink. Woo, baby, that was close as they make contact over in turns 1 and 2. Darrell Brink losing a couple spots. Carney now still battling with the 40R car of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Stenhouse not afraid of anything as he drives to the inside of Carney, going to try to keep the car pitched down to the inside. Great move right there by Stenhouse to put the slide job and then block the bottom. We'll see what Carney can do over in 3 and 4. White flag for Ricky Logan. So Ricky Logan has the top spot. Roger Rager running in the second spot. Look who's from the back of the pack now. Stacy Alexander from 10th to 5th. As we'll watch Ricky Logan off the 4th turn, takes the checker flag, wins the 3rd heat race. Roger Rager home 2nd, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. rounds out your top 3.
Inside the 3rd row, 91 is Darren Stewart. To his outside, the number 56, Lauren Langerud. Inside the 4th row, driving the number 56D is Trevor Lewis. To his outside, the 11C from Oregon is Roger Crockett. Rounding out your field in the 5G is Don Drow Jr. And to his outside, in the number 51, it's David Hall. Set for 10 laps right here in this 4th heat race. And it's Mike Dussel leading the way through turns 1 and 2, with Nick Mulheim making a run off turn 2 for second. 3 wide down the backstretch. Some contact between Scott Winter and Lauren Langerud. They keep them going. Darren Stewart is the benefactor of that as he races into 4th place. And Langerud makes a move on Stewart going into 1 and 2. Stewart holds the spot. Mike Dussel leads the way into turn 3. 2 laps in the books. It's Mike Dussel leading the way with Nick Mulheim and Jack Pilon, 2nd and 3rd. Darren Stewart holds 4th. Lauren Langerud in 5th. And David Hall, after starting 10th, is all the way up to 6th in this race. Now Jack Pilon challenging Nick Mulheim for 2nd as they race down the front straightaway. Into turn 1, it's Pilon down low. Mulheim up high. Mulheim dives to the low side and holds on to 2nd. As Darren Stewart tries to reel him in. Now Darren Stewart moves in on Pilon to challenge for 3rd. He'll look low coming off turn 4 as we complete lap 4 in this 4th heat race. And in his first visit to Knoxville Raceway, Mike Dussel is checking out in this 4th heat race. He's got about a half straightaway lead as Nick Mulheim holding 2nd. And a 3-way battle for 3rd. Look at Lauren Langerud through 1 and 2, taking the 3rd position. Your defending Brodix Tournament of Champions winner, making a bold move there to take over 3rd. Now Darren Stewart's going to work on Jack Pilon for 4th, and he'll take the spot. And Mike Dussel continues to cruise with just 3 laps to go. Nick Mulheim 2nd. Now Lauren Langerud is trying to reel him in to take that. And Dave Hall making a move on Jack Pilon for 5th. Dussel holding nearly a straightaway lead. Nick Mulheim 2nd. Lauren Langerud going to make a challenge for 2nd. He slides across the top. Turns 1 and 2. Mulheim dives back to the bottom, exiting turn 2. It's side by side down the backstretch for 2nd. As Mike Dussel takes the checkered flag. Langerud takes over 2nd. Nick Mulheim will finish 3rd with Darren Stewart 4th. David Hall in 5th.
Down over in turn number 2. So we bring him off the 4th turn, 1 lap down, 9 to go here in this heat race. Kurt Michael going to try to make the move easy over there in turns 1 and 2 as wasting no time goes down the back straightaway. Kurt Michael, your new leader. Joey Beaver now running in that 2nd spot. Gary Wright has the 3rd position. Kurt Michael from Ocean View, Delaware. has the lead in the Palladino, number 99 car. Another URC competitor trying to move up through the field, that red 3 car. That's Dave Ely, as he's going to take a peek to the inside of John Schultz over there in turns 3 and 4. Schultz on the high side, Ely on the bottom. A little contact between Mike Hausman Jr. and Rager Phillips. A couple of youngsters that race every Saturday night here at Knoxville, banging wheels coming out of the 4th turn. Mike Hausman Jr. right now has the 6th spot. Rager Phillips runs 7th. Mike Chad and Mike Hausman Sr. round out the order. We stay clean and green here in this one. This time by, we'll have 6 laps scored, 4 more to go. The 5th heat race of the night. Kurt Michael looking pretty good out there in that 99 car. The last time that car was here, his brother Shawn Michael was driving it back in 1997 at the Tournament of Champions. Joey Beaver has 2nd. Gary Wright running in that 3rd spot. Then it's John Schultz and Dave Ely rounding out your top 5. Rager Phillips, Mike Hausman Jr., followed by his father, Mike Hausman, and then Mike Chad rounding out the order. White flag this time by for Kurt Michael as Mike Hausman Jr. continues to show smoke down the back straightaway. His father right behind him there in the wide 2 car. We'll see if the engine in the wide 5 car can hang on for another lap. He takes the white flag, but out of turn number 4 now to take the checkered flag. Give it to the number 99 of Kurt Michael. Kurt Michael scored 1 for the East Coasters here in the 5th heat race.
Umstead and Gossel lead your 6th heat race to the green flag. Justin Clark eyes the field, gets the green at the ready, and away we go. Umstead leading the way into turn 1. Gossel in 2nd, a big pack for 3rd. It's Toby Brown moving into the 3rd spot. Eric Jobe 4th, and Jesse Hockett up to 5th already. Umstead will lead your 1st lap, and here comes Eric Jobe making his way past Toby Brown for 3rd. And Toby Brown battles back in turn 2. Jobe shuts the door, holds on to 3rd, and sets his sights on Brian Gossel for 2nd. Meanwhile, here comes Jesse Hockett battling Toby Brown for 4th. Gossel and Jobe side by side into turn 1 for 2nd. It's Jobe on the low side, Gossel up high. Gossel holds a position as they go down the back straightaway with Toby Brown in 4th. Jesse Hockett in 5th, and Sam Hayford Jr. all the way up to 6th. Gossel begins to slip away from Jobe a little bit as Toby Brown and Jesse Hockett reel him in, and it's the Rocket on the low side, taking over 4th. Brown slips high, and here comes Sam Hayford Jr. in the 15 to take over 5th. Meanwhile, it's Chad Huntston, the youngster out of Nebraska, out to about a straightaway lead. Gossel gets out of shape coming off of 4, and Jobe and Hockett close the gap. Here comes Hockett down low. Hockett and Jobe side by side down the backstretch into turn 3. Jobe shoots to the bottom and slides across in front of Gossel. A little bit of contact, but Jobe does take the 2nd position. Here comes Hockett making his way back past Gossel as well to take over 3rd. Umstead making his way past lap traffic. About a straightaway lead over Eric Jobe. Jesse Hockett in 3rd. Brian Gossel 4th. Sam Hayford Jr. running 5th. And here comes Hayford making a move on Gossel down the backstretch for 4th. Hayford will make the move into 3, and he gets it. Gossel just about loses it. Keeps it going. 2 more laps to go for Chad Hunston in the number 23C. White flag, Chad Hunston. Eric Jobe closing the gap just a little bit, but he's not going to have enough time to close the gap. Jesse Hockett running third, Sam Haverty Jr. in fourth. And taking the win in heat race number 6 out of Giltner, Nebraska, Chad Hunston.
The 50 car of Jared Hall was scheduled to be in this event, but the Rich DeRue 50 car has scratched, so hopefully we'll see him out later on in that Midland Performance. Roger Wagner excavating 50 car as we get set to go. The first heat race for the even program, the 7th of the night, as we kick them off the 4th turn. A lot of fast cars heading down into turn number 1. Seth Bramer out to the early lead in that 13 car. We saw Seth Bramer take a wild ride down the front stretch here earlier in the year. First time back, I believe, since that incident as he's leading them off the 4th turn. Seth Bramer out to a commanding lead here on lap number 1. J.D. Johnson running in the 2nd spot. Look at Jake Peters cutting his way through the cars up to the 4th spot. Jake Peters now going to set his sights on the 5B car. Dave Glennon has that 3rd spot. Jake Peters closing the gap. Down to complete another lap is Bramer, Johnson, Glennon, and Peters. That's your top 4. Maybe not for long, though, as Jake Peters pulls out the pass over turns 1 and 2 and takes the spot away from Dave Glennon. So Jake Peters quickly from inside the 4th row up to the top 3. Jake Peters leading the point standings, the defending track champion in the 360 division. Won a preliminary feature at this event a couple years past. And check out the problems on the top wing. Travis Rylack going down the backstretch, the 29. Wrinkling under over there in turns 3 and 4. Tough break for the driver from Forney, Texas, the F&J construction car. Hallmark.com on the top wing. Is that wing really peeling away now over there in turns 1 and 2? Rylack maintaining the 7th spot as he chases Luke Cranston down the backstretch. So Seth Bramer, who sat out for a couple months of the season, recovering from injuries from that accident as well as another incident. Now looking strong, running right around the cushion in that 13 car. Father Rich, a longtime campaigner here at the Knoxville Raceway. Good race heating up for that 2nd spot as Jake Peters starting to close the gap a little bit on J.D. Johnson. J.D. Johnson, a regular with the NCRA division, has 2 wins this year in Wichita, Kansas. But right now, trying to hold off the track champion here at the Knoxville Raceway. Peters to the inside, the slide job takes the spot. We'll see if Johnson can retaliate down the backstretch. Peters much too strong as he goes down the back straightaway with the lead. So Bramer now has a couple lap cars ahead of him as Jake Peters running out of time here in this heat race. Just 2 laps to go as they work down the backstretch. Bramer now pulls up. Bramer loses it over in turns 3 and 4. Gets very sideways. Gathers the car back together, but he's going to lose the lead. You've got a new leader as the white flag comes out. Seth Bramer battling the 13 car. All sorts of problems trying to hold on to a top finishing spot. Already lost the lead, and here comes J.D. Johnson. Down into turns 3 and 4, one final time. Off the 4th turn, picking up the heat race win. Give it to the 57X of Jake Peters. 2nd to the 13 of Seth Bramer. 3rd spot to the 98 of J.D. Johnson.
World of Outlaws shoes been having a big year out on the West Coast this year. 5th in Golden State Challenge points, picked up 3 wins in that 410 series. But it's Morrow and Randy Martin leading the way to the green. And it's side by side into turn 1. Morrow inside, Martin high. Martin's going to lead him off at turn 2. Johnny Herrera moving into 3rd. Herrera's going to move in on Morrow to challenge for 2nd. First lap's going to be Martin, Morrow, Herrera. McDonald and Allard up from the back into 5th. Jonathan Allard making a move in the 0X. Up high, taking 4th from McDonald down the back straightaway. 3 laps in the books, and it's Randy Martin leading the way. Matt Morrow second, Johnny Herrera third, Jonathan Allard fourth. And look at Josh Higday. Here he comes from the back row. He just took 5th place from the number 11M of Troy Meyer. Higday is up to 5th, and he's going to start to try to reel in Allard, Herrera, Morrow. But it's still Randy Martin out of California, Missouri, leading the way. Randy Martin trying to reverse his fortunes at Knoxville Raceway and pick up a win in tonight's 8th heat race. Perhaps put himself in good position for one of tonight's 8 features. Stretches his lead to a little bit more than a straightaway over Matt Morrow. Johnny Herrera continues to ride in third. Jonathan Allard closing the gap on him. And Josh Higday is closing in on both those guys. He has 4 more laps to maybe perhaps mount a challenge to move up to third. And here comes Higday on the low side, underneath Allard. Side by side. Higday taking the lead, taking 4th from Jonathan Allard down the backstretch. 2 laps to go. Martin, Morrow, Herrera, and now Josh Higday in 4th. He'll set his sights on Herrera to try to take 3rd. And it's a white flag for Randy Martin. Taking the win in tonight's 8th heat race out of California, Missouri, it's Randy Martin. Matt Morrow is going to hold second at the line. Johnny Herrera third. Josh Higday.
Having a great season. I think he has 3 second-place finishes in that division this year. Has moved up from, get this, the street stocks to the 360 sprint car. Shows up at the Knoxville Raceway, and we'll put him on the pole for the heat race. Louis Carufel has the pole alongside Doug Wilson as we bring him down the front straightaway. Good racing throughout the field as Doug Wilson escapes to the lead down the back straightaway. It's Wilson, Jennings, and Carufel as they head for turns 3 and 4 the first time. Here comes Jason Johnson going from the top to the bottom. He's up to the 4th spot. Keep an eye on that 41 car. Jason Johnson beat the Outlaws at Williams Grove a couple weeks ago. Problems on the 25 of John Eldred. He's slow over in turns 1 and 2. We keep them clean and green here in the 9th heat race. It's Jennings, Wilson, and Johnson, 1, 2, and 3. Look at Brian Brown. He's making some strides from the back of the pack. Brian Brown from 9th now up into the top 5 in just a handful of laps. He wants a little bit more. He drives it in deep over in turns 3 and 4, chasing the 82 car of Jason Danley. Brian Brown going to go to the inside of Danley, takes the 4th spot away. Brian Brown having quite a season here. Has 1 win